guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm just going to be showing you how to compress blocks. Simply lock them down and etc. Anyways, let's get straight into the video. So this is a compressor right here, alright? This is the head of a compressor. Now, the head of the compressor is important because that's what pulls it down. So if I attached a block to here, as so, and I spawned in, nothing would happen because that is the head of the compressor that I'm attaching it to. Now, if I stick a block on top of the compressor, on the head, and then I spawn, you can see that something happens. This block gets pulled down by half a block. So furthering on the pulling down by half a block, there are settings in this compressor that can allow you to essentially move it wherever you want without rotating the angle. So if I open the setting, it might seem a little overwhelming at first, but the settings and stuff, they're really simple once you understand. This is exactly what it says it is. It's transparent. So if I turn this on and then spawn in, you'll see that the compressor turns transparent as soon as I spawn in. Going further into these settings, if you wanted to turn can collide off, then that basically does exactly what you think it means. It makes the middle of this compressor semi-transparent, which doesn't really make sense at first, but if you go through this, it has no physics. This compressor in the middle has no physics. You could send any block through this and it wouldn't stop it. Moving on from that, I'm going to show you how to make your first compressing lock tower. Okay, so stack two heads on top of each other like this. Simply repeat for the side, like this, and then do that one more time, just on the side again. If you did that all right, and you spawn down, you should have a complete row of 3, like this. Now, you might be asking yourself, what can I do with this? This is a pretty basic compressed tower. There's not too much you can do with it, but it's a start. So I'll give you a few examples on how you can actually use this thing to further improve your building skills. So for instance, if I take these blocks and I put them on one layer of the compressors, so these blue ones down here would be on the first layer for instance, and then this red one would be on the third layer for instance. If I spawn in and then look to see what it does, this red one and these blue ones are now on the same level. They're now on the first level. Instead of the red one being on the third one, it moved down by 2 and moved up to the first. So let's say that you run out of space in this little compressed tower. What you can do to further this is take more compressed blocks, and instead of building more to the side like this, I'm going to teach you a more compact and more used way, where instead of building to the side, you build on the inside. You would just repeat this pattern up another layer like this, so you have 6 layers in total. So a common problem that people make when they have this is when they spawn in and they have all their layers, it falls apart, and there's a good reason for that. This right here is not welded. This little block's in the middle. This makes it so it isn't welded. So for instance, if I spawned in, this layer right here would be completely detached from this layer. There's a really easy way that we can fix that. If we take our compression blocks, we go up to this little purple screwdriver right here, we turn on transparent and cannot collide. Then we place them like this with the heads facing out, and then we spawn in. All compressors get set down to level 1. Now I'm going to give you a quick example on how to make complex shapes using all of what we just learned. Even with all that knowledge, you may be wondering to yourself, how can I actually use this? I'm going to take you on a little tour of my build that I built a little while ago, and show you how these key components can lead you to make things in-game. Starting off, we have this compressed tower here. Now, if you may recall that these little heads right here, they're supposed to be facing out. these basically weld these 10 pieces of tower together. This isn't much different from what I taught you, besides it being horizontal. Moving on from that, if we look to the side of this compressed tower, you can see that there's only one layer of blocks per layer. If these touched, then the entire compressed tower would mess up and the build would not function correctly. Unless you wanted that, of course. Finally, if I mark these little wing lights here with pink, just maybe one or two, and I spawn in, then you'll see this all comes together to form a wheel, or that entire compressed tower comes together and forms this wheel right here. And the magic of compressed blocking is you can fit a bunch of stuff in tiny little spaces like this. And for instance, I even got this wheel to spin, turn, and have suspension on it. That about does it though. So if you want to see any more tutorials from this channel, just make sure to comment down below and say what you like. If this video hits, I don't know, like 15 likes, I'll make a tutorial on how to make these wheels and circular hollow objects. Alright, see ya.